All right. Hey, guys. Thanks again for joining us on Give and Take. Hugo here.
Steph.
This is episode 5.
Take
Um,
5
Uh,
of this fucking intro.
yeah, for you, maybe. Not for me.
All right.
Just because I, let you take over for once. I'm just kidding. But thanks again for joining us on Give and Take. Today's going to be pretty interesting. Got a couple topics for you guys. Please keep leaving in those comments topics for us to talk about. Would really appreciate that and are appreciating that for sure.
Subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure to leave comments in the YouTube if there's something that you want us to talk about, or DM us on Instagram. Whatever is easier for you guys.
Yes, sir.
So,
hit us up on Instagram.
Whatever you guys want to ask us, nothing is off
Nothing's
limits.
off limits.
So we talk about it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good and bad, clean and dirty.
Ooh.
You know?
And that
Black and white, yin and yang. I was gonna.
No.
Yeah.
You were gonna go.
Yeah, I was gonna do something else, but nah, it's cool.
You're
It's
gonna
cool.
take it a little too far there, dude.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking. You know what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
Freaking read your mind.
Actually, that could be our first thing that we touch on tonight is
Butt plugs.
No.
Oh.
No. But we can talk about that too. Fuck, man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was thinking about this yesterday. So you're a really close friend of mine.
Yeah.
Some might
I like to
even
think so.
say you may be my best friend.
Okay.
Up for debate. But I'm just kidding.
I'm your only friend, dude.
Yeah. You're
Nah,
literally
I'm
the
kidding.
only person that I can be like 100% authentic with. Like to a point where,
Ew.
but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can say all the really dumb shit around you. But anyhow,
Oh my god, that warms my heart.
what I've noticed is a lot of times when I'll pick up the phone and call you,
Uh-huh.
this is gonna sound so gay, dude. But when you answer,
Yeah.
a lot of times you've said, dude, what the fuck? I was about to call you right now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or I'll say like, oh, dude, I've been listening to Juanes like nonstop. What the fuck? I've been listening to Juanes nonstop. And it's not like we knew about this about
It's
each other.
the universe, dude.
Do you think that over time, and this happens like in various topics, right?
Uh-huh.
We think about the same stuff.
Okay.
Simultaneously is my point, because we can think about the same thing, but like I'm saying it happens at the exact same time, right? So do you think that over time the universe has like entangled our
Existence.
auras or something?
Uh-huh.
Like our energies and our thought process and our we're kind of like in unison.
In unison, like neurologically connected.
Yeah, but like on a on
Neurologically connected on a psychological level.
some sort of psychological,
It is weird
connection.
because this is no joke. Like you're not messing around here.
No,
This
no.
is real. Like I have
happens a lot.
sent you a video on Instagram. You're like, I was just looking at that video, or I was just about to send you that video as well.
Mhm.
You know, this has happened many times. This is just like one or two occasions. Like this is weird.
And you got to understand that, yeah, we like a lot of the same videos. And so on the suggested feed, sometimes we might get the same shit. But I'm talking to the fucking minute that we're watching it.
Yep.
And I DM you and you reply with the same video. That's happened on multiple occasions. So what I'm saying is, have we somehow, are we like linked? You know?
It's like that theory where
Are we connected via the universe Bluetooth?
if that even exists, if that's even a theory.
There's got to be something, dude. Like it has to be something that allows. This can't be a coincidence. It happens too frequently for it to just be a coincidence.
Maybe this
Right?
simulation that we're living on is collapsing, and the aliens are fucking with us.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, dude. You never heard about that?
Yeah, you actually believe this too, or you think that it could be real?
No. I don't think it's freaking real. A simulation? Come on. Really? I
How
don't
would that
think
even
it's
work? So
real.
what's the theory behind that? Because I don't fully understand it.
The
So
whole
we're just avatars,
No,
and
well, people say like that it's all, yeah, exactly. Avatars, it's all a simulation. It's all
mm-hmm,
being controlled by aliens.
mm-hmm,
We're not the superior being, and that there are other beings out there that are greater and much more powerful and are able to do all those things. Um,
mm-hmm.
I don't really believe that. I'm not all into that, to be honest. I mean, you know me, dude. Like, I was never really into the whole alien and UFO thing
No conspiracies, neither.
or anything. Yeah, exactly, anything like that. Um, but up until recent, and I think I actually did tell you this. Remember when I spoke to you about that interview I saw with Joe Rogan and that other there's another interview as well. They're both about UFO
Yeah.
topics.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that I was talking about was Bob Lazar. Excuse me, and this is the guy who had worked on UFO, the spaceships or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Area 51.
Yeah, it was actually near Area
No,
51.
he worked in Area 51. Allegedly. That's what he
Yeah,
claims.
okay.
No?
Yeah,
Is that
well, 'cause I saw it and it was actually near Area 51. It wasn't Area 51 itself, but it was like kind of on the side of that. Yes, but it was in that general area of Area
okay? Well,
51
then I already got the story wrong.
for
Sorry.
sure. But it's the same story, dude. Maybe you just got that,
Okay.
you know,
Go ahead.
whatever. Um so yeah, so like I said, I never really was into the whole UFO thing. That there are aliens out there, this and that, up until this. So I did see that interview with Bob Lazar. If you
Mm.
guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's very interesting. Um, and that's not the reason why I kind of started buying into it or started thinking like, hey, maybe that could be real. This guy's telling the truth. The reason why I felt like this guy may be telling the truth is because there's this YouTuber. What's his name? I believe it's Derek. He has a YouTube page. So Derek Van Schaik.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't fucking start playing the video. He has a YouTube page where he basically studies body language and um, that whole thing where they know if like somebody's lying by either clusters of things that people do when they're lying. For example, like scratching your nose or looking to the side, just different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a variety of videos, and one of those is Bob Lazar, and it's is he really telling the truth? Like, is he really did he really work on these spaceships?
Mm-hmm.
And this one, when did he work on them? I think it was like 19. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But the crazy thing is that the story that he's telling now in Joe Rogan, it all coincides, and he says the exact same details compared to what he said like a long ass time ago. Do you know how hard it is to lie? Like, say for example, if he lied a long time ago, because people
Mm-hmm.
didn't believe him, like this guy's nuts, like he's crazy, and then to come back and say the same stories now, like to the dot, like very detailed, that's very hard, dude, if you're lying, because you forget those things. Like when
Yeah.
somebody's lying, you don't go into those details, specifically. And so,
Unless to him it's not a lie.
what do you mean?
I mean, if in his mind, if that really happened, then you would proceed to adequately tell the story, and it's your truth. That's why you don't give any
Okay, so
physical key indicators
I
that
see
you're
what you
lying
mean.
because it's truth to you.
Hmm.
I've heard claims about this guy that he's not all there,
Yeah.
and he has some sort of basically it stems down to some psychological issues. But I don't know.
So, and I thought about that too, and a lot of people have thought about that too. And I know what you mean now. Um, and then the video went on. Basically Derek, the guy who's like reviewing the video,
Mm.
he didn't see any abnormalities as far as like clusters that people what do they call gestures that people do when they're lying,
Mm-hmm.
like skipping a question or just getting another answer, going to around the answer, this and that. He didn't find a single thing from this guy.
Okay.
And it may stem from what you're saying, like him believing that it is true. And I thought about that too. I was like, well, maybe this guy's just had convinced himself that this is all true. And then the video continued on, and they mentioned that after all that happened, the government him telling his friends and all that what he worked on. This is now them showing his friends and them testifying that it is all true, the UFOs and all that stuff. The government went in and erased his whole history, like where he went to college, from high school,
Wow.
everything, where he worked out. Why would they do that? Like, if this guy, like you said, is like a lunatic or is like insane,
Mm-hmm.
why would he? I mean, people can be insane and still have like that. That doesn't have to be erased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why would they go into erasing all that and going on into all that?
Yeah. So he doesn't have so nobody has a point of reference, not even himself,
Yeah,
and it discredits him.
exactly. It discredits him a lot. And another thing too, when he was describing these things, and because they were doing tests and like how they fly and all that stuff, and that they warp gravity and they bend gravity in order for them to move, so they're not really using like an engine or anything like that. They just
Mm-hmm.
bend gravity and move towards it, kind of like a downhill.
Mm-hmm.
So gravity just pulls you down. So they're able to control gravity. I know it doesn't make it's like very confusing.
These aircrafts.
These aircrafts, they have like three generators inside, and basically to be around here on Earth doesn't require a lot of energy. Mind you, these create like massive amount of energy, like insane amount of energy, in order for it to do that, supposedly, right? And they only use one generator here, and then like when they're out, they obviously use all three. Um, and what was very interesting was when he explained that like a long time ago. And then so fast forward till now when that pilot spotted that UFO over in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
over the coast of San Diego. Um, when he spotted it and he had it on film, you can see it like not like this, but like sideways, and that's exactly how Bob Lazar said that these things would move. Is
Whoa.
it's not like this because they have the generators here, so they go sideways like this, pushing warping gravity and moving towards that side, and it's not a movement of like where you normally see like a craft moving and then stopping and just doing that. It's like instant. It's like super instant, and that's it's impossible. Like
Yeah.
that defies the laws of gravity, defies physics, like what we know. So I don't know. I think the main thing that kind of intrigued me or like kind of was like made me think a little more about it was the fact that this guy couldn't find anything from his body language that he was lying or that he was
Mm.
he was making all this stuff up. So I don't know, I found it very very interesting.
Wait. So
So it's
before that, you didn't believe that
before that I was
extraterrestrial beings were real,
I mean I
or
not
you
that I
were
didn't
just on the fence about it?
kind of on the fence, and now I just started questioning it more. Like, man, that's
So where do you stand now?
I mean the universe is freaking huge, dude. So I
Well,
wouldn't be
yeah, but you've known that.
right, but not even knowing that, like I was like, nah, there's like there's no way we should have came across, we should have
Yeah, yeah.
came in contact with them by now. Um, mind you, I didn't know that this was out. Like I didn't know that Bob Lazar like a long long time ago even worked on these things. I didn't know about that.
So this was like the tipping point for you.
For this, it was kind of like that's scary.
Are you a believer now?
I don't want to say yeah, dude, and I don't want to say yeah because
You need
I'm
more evidence or what?
I'm well the thing that you said, like what if this guy is like
Mm-hmm.
insane? What if this guy has just convinced himself too? There's a lot of factors that come into play too.
Well, I saw the interview of that pilot that you're referring to, and I mean, he didn't classify it as an alien per se, but he did say it was a unit or aircraft not from this
Mm-hmm.
planet, because the speed at which it was moving at and the maneuvers that it was doing was so far advanced, and it's nothing that any man-made aircraft can actually do.
Yeah.
um and you can see it. Basically, it almost looks like it's teleporting, because you don't see it actually move. It just goes from one spot to another,
Yeah.
and then comes back and then disappears.
And that's exactly how Bob Lazar was saying that
And
these things move.
this is a military, this is a pilot who has dedicated his life
Right.
to this, and this is his career. He would have absolutely no reason to fabricate this
Exactly.
lie.
Like for what purpose?
And it's caught on film. So
Hmm.
all he's doing is referencing what he saw.
Yeah.
And when you see it, it's like, yeah, this shit is definitely not from here.
And
At
that,
least that's what I took from
yeah,
it. Like that's some crazy shit. And it could there's no way. I was reading through the comments too, and they were saying how it was fake, and then other people were saying that it was just an actual defect or flaw in the camera.
like a glare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
But
a glare in the camera.
but that doesn't make sense because it has a very particular shape to it, and he was following it around, and he saw it. He remembered losing it for.
Yeah, he did lose it. Didn't he lose it and then like left,
Mm-hmm. I
and then
think
they picked it up
I
again?
think, but it was like miles out at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah, because it disappeared on him.
Yeah.
It was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that video that you're talking about, that's like everything he's talking about in there. Bob Lazar basically
Described it.
describes it and explains how these things move and how they how it all works basically. Not only that, but like work when how he worked in Area 51.
Yeah.
They had technology there that we have now. Like I believe one of them was like where you put your hand and it kind of like it reads it, your print and all that stuff. This was like I think in the 80s. Um, and people are like you're insane. Like what? How do they even do that? Like how does that even work? That technology and it was true. Like they had it, and now we use it. We use that technology today. There was also the other one of Element. I think it was Element 115 or something like that. That these crafts had in it. That element is not on Earth. Element 115. You can't find it on Earth. And these
This is
crafts,
real.
yeah,
This is an element
that was found on those crafts, on those UFOs supposedly. And
per
then
Bob Lazar. That's Bob Lazar saying that.
yeah, and then I believe it's years later they have
Just,
found 115, element 115, or had like created element 115. Um,
I mean, Tony Stark
and
created
that's
a
what
new element.
and that's what it came about. So I don't know. It's kind of scary, dude. Like, can you
My,
imagine?
but my whole thing is, excuse me. Say that they do exist,
Uh huh.
and say even. By the way, there was a story that the government actually confirmed some sort of UFO. Uh, they released some images, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look. I didn't read it, but I saw the headline. I don't know if you've seen it,
No.
but this is like an actual government released documentation, and there's images and there's all kinds of descriptions of this crazy shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked into it, so that might be worth looking into. But my whole point is, say that everything is verified and everything that he's saying is true, and at some, Area 51 is in fact this establishment, this facility where all this UFO shit is worked on, and that's where they hold all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Like, what happens now?
Well,
Okay, it's all true. Where do we go from here?
I think the main thing, and this is something that he also mentioned too. He's not that person who is into like UFO, UFO sightings and all that stuff, and because there's the group of people that are like that, like they go out on the streets and like dress like as like aliens and into all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's not all into it, and his main concern is the technology, is understanding how it works, how those things warp, bend gravity in order to move, and how they can do those maneuvers. That's like his main thing, and he's like till this day, like it eats me, like to sleep or whatever. Like he can't even sleep or whatnot. But that's the main thing, and I think that's like government's main concern is to get a hold of this technology to learn how it works, and then use it. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
power.
oh,
It's power because if you have Russia or you have another country get a hold of it or understand how it's dangerous, dude.
oh yeah.
You know?
So so then what's the problem? If Area 51 does exist and they're
Mm-hmm.
using it for that purpose and they're studying these ships, um, and they're trying to, you know, decipher all this technology and understand it so we can one day utilize it for
Hmm.
ourselves in order to benefit the US, then what's the problem?
Why keep it a secret, or like why?
No, I mean, even if they do have to keep it a secret, what's wrong with that? The less hands. Would you rather? I would rather the US have a card up their sleeves in case of an emergency
Yeah.
rather than just, you know, putting this out there and basically creating a certain level of exposure.
Hmm.
Like if for example, and by the way, we're if Area 51 is an actual thing here, I'm sure it's not. We're not the only country that
Right.
has something like this
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
But my point is, I don't necessarily find a problem with working, having it with a certain level of secrecy in order to just maintain things low key,
Hmm.
understand it, maybe weaponize it at some point,
I see what you mean.
and
Okay.
have it stored in case.
Shit hits the fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
it's better to have it. What's that saying? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not
Yeah.
have
Not
it.
have it. Right.
Right? We have this
Yep.
fucking. It's like if another world war hits. God forbid, but
Mm.
um, all of a sudden we're able to pull out these weapons of mass destruction that are on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly we have an advantage.
Higher advantage. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
I
that's
don't
the
see a
thing.
problem
Like,
with that.
yeah.
Rather than getting everybody involved,
Exactly. And it makes sense.
which everybody doesn't have to be involved.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It'd be nice to know, but
Yeah. Exactly. If it's like actual facts, But then another thing too, like it's scary to think that, like, yes, there is actually, extraterrestrial beings. That
Yeah.
we're not the only one
we got to go see Brian Cox, man, or
here in
Neil
the
deGrasse
universe.
Tyson. If they ever do like a
Mm.
seminar here in like in LA
Yeah.
or a convention in LA or something, we got to go.
I've been wanting to get his book. I wanted to get his book.
I can watch that guy for hours. You know why I can watch those guys for a while just watching or listening to them talk, and 'cause they're so passionate, dude.
They're
Like,
passionate and they explain it
in a way where we can
you can
understand it.
understand it. And when you can
Yes.
explain things that way,
Yeah.
you know what the fuck you're talking about. Like,
Mhm.
you know your shit, dude.
Yep. They're able to break it down to where, you know, our fucking simple minds can comprehend it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have the scientific knowledge and all the verbiage, and we're not familiar with all the terminology
Mm.
that's used. And you start throwing out equations and all this fucking bullshit and all this dialogue that people aren't going to understand, and you'll lose any sense of interest in the first few seconds.
Yeah.
But
People are just going to check out.
when this guy talks, when any of these two talk, it's something that you can sink your teeth into, because it's the way they're able to break it down is awesome.
Yeah.
And Brian Cox has like this cool little these fucking bangs. You seen him?
Is
Like
that the
his
dude
hairdo?
that, like,
He's British,
he
I
kind of
think.
talks something like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's cool. I've seen him on
You should watch him, dude.
various interviews.
If you haven't,
Super
I'm sure
cool
you
dude.
have. But
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen both of them.
and then Neil's another one that's
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to see both of them.
And he curses occasionally.
Oh yeah,
It humanizes him. It's like it just
like you said, it's just passion. Like, he's so
Yeah.
passionate about the universe, understanding it. But
which
yeah,
is
dude.
a hard thing to do. It's hard to understand just how massive. You think Earth is ginormous, right? But it's just a speck,
Yeah,
and the universe is just.
I
dude.
believe, I forgot where I read this or heard this. But it said, if you take up all the granules in the world of sand,
Mm,
and collect them, there are more stars than those granules of sand out there.
wow.
Like, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Just by picking up sand yourself, you get like a whole, you get a lot.
Yeah. Fucking.
It's mind blowing. It's hard to think about, to be honest. It's hard to think
Wow.
about. That's it. But who knows, man? It's scary to me to think of all that. And then when I heard that, and when I read, and when I saw the video, and all that, it just came together, and I was like, damn, this guy, could be telling the truth. Like this is crazy.
I thought he
Um,
was telling the truth from the jump, to be honest.
yeah, because I think if I would have seen that video without watching this guy, Derek Van, um, I probably would have been very skeptical and would have been like, nah, this dude's crazy. Like he's not telling the truth, blah blah blah. But him reviewing the video and kind of like decoding and kind of analyzing it like helped me.
You're talking about sorry, the guy who reads body language.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
guy?
yeah. I think watching him and then watching the interview kind of helped me like understand and kind of like,
And then watching the pilot's interview,
yeah,
when
the
you
pilot's
actually get the
interview too.
imagery behind it,
Yeah, and then I'm
and it
like, yo,
matches
that's
the description.
that's exactly what he was talking about.
He knows too much, bro.
Yeah.
He knows too much for it not to be. See, now I'm interested in the conversation. No.
Yeah.
No.
You got a little comfortable there?
Yeah.
He knows too much, and what's crazy is they work on these projects and they try so hard to understand the technology and how it all works, but we don't have the technology yet to fully understand it. So they put it away, they put it aside, and they wait 10, 20 years or 10, 15 years, and they bring it out again. And let's see what we got now. Now that we have advanced in technology, let's work on this and then see if we can now understand it.
That's fucking crazy.
You know? So I don't know. It's very, very interesting, dude.